Haha, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's fucking cook today, man. Let's cook. Let's cook. Let's cook. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got in the kitchen tonight, man. Let's see what we can come up with. Um, I'm ready, man. This we back solo. We about to get it, man. Let's do it. Hey, yo, what it is and what's good, y'all? Welcome back to 280 Plus, the social media podcast where I take the conversations off the timeline and go beyond the tweets. I'm your host, Lowe's Def, and as y'all see tonight, I'm here with y'all solo. We rocking out. Jeannie's not here with me this week. That's the end of our recap series. We were doing a TV show called Suburban Screams, and so I had the pleasure of partnering up with her for the last 6 weeks. Y'all know I do another podcast, Recap and Record. Obviously, I got the banner here with 280 Plus, and I do that with my boy Levi. And so I just wanted to kind of try something, different with another person, and just to have some fun. Jeannie is fun though because I was able to turn, some of those weeks. Then y'all saw that we had like full length episodes as well, talking about the poignant things, the trending topics, the things that are big in the culture. And I would say this though, Jeannie is very polarizing. So either you really love her or you hate her. Yeah, I mean, there's not that much in between. And I don't know. Overall, I think she's good for the show. You know what I mean? Always chop it up with her. Like I talk to her pretty often. And that's the homie. That's really the homie. I don't have to say this on the podcast, whatever, but like I've literally never made a pass at her. Like I never tried to get at her any type of way. But that is a friend. Like she became a friend through the podcast. And then we just bend each other's ear about different things and stuff like that. And I like her perspective because it is it's kind of raw. It's fresh though. It's raw, but it's fresh. It's different. It's challenging, and I think we have a good dynamic. So like, y'all gonna see Johnny back on the show, at any given time. But yeah, we gonna rock out with some other guests and things like that. Yeah, man, 2023 is coming to an end. We about to go into 2024, which is heading into year 3 of the podcast. So like, it's exciting. It's exciting. But if you're watching the show though, if you're just tuning in, I need you to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's get to, let's keep this cooking. Let's keep this platform growing. And yeah, like just back to Johnny though. We had some good clips in some recent episodes, and when I say polarizing, it's like one or the other. That wasn't more evident than when we did the conversation about the laundromat stuff, and that was something that she had already talked about on a different platform. Like she talked about that on Facebook, and on Facebook she does get people like riled up, and it was such a simple topic. We just talking about going to the laundromat, you know what I mean? And there was a little bit of a judgment there, like about going to laundromats, and I thought she was coming on a little bit strong. And she saw my perspective, but like she still stood her ground because she was talking about a very specific context. And that led to probably one of the biggest clips of the year. Just on Instagram, one of the biggest clips. And it really was polarizing, and like it was so much engagement. And I, shout out to her, man, for just kind of generating that. So I feel like for every like there was a comment. There was literally people arguing in the comment sections. I'm still getting comments on that, and I'm like, yo, this is like, I really just threw it out there. I didn't even put any like podcast information for people to jump to. And it's weird because and then that went, you know what I mean? But if I would have had everything in there, all my hashtags and everything, it might not have went anywhere. So it was a truly organic clip. And yeah, man, it was good. It was good fun. And like I said, man, y'all gonna probably see her pretty soon or at any given time. There's certain things she might want to talk about, so I'll get her in there. But yeah, in 20 kind of leading into 2024, I definitely want to get outside a little bit more again. I haven't really taken the podcast out in a while. Like I've been, there's been some events, there's been some like tentative things that people kind of invited me to, but like we just couldn't really, come to certain agreements, or get the logistics right. But yeah, definitely ready to come back in 2024, stronger than ever. This year, I would say we took on a bigger workload, you know what I mean? Like, because yeah, we did me and Levi, went back to back seasons of recap and record. And then I was doing the recaps with Jeannie. But even prior to recap and record coming back, y'all seen that I was doing I was doing recaps of the Shy, like, and I did that by myself, and it just kind of just trying to get into different lanes, and because I already talk about TV shows, but I felt like, it's important to sometimes separate your regular content with other type of content, and just really having fun with that type of stuff. And so in 2024, I would love to bring back, like, guests from year one, what I mean? More guests from year one, guests from year two, you know what I'm saying? And just reintroduce some people to um creators and movers and shakers, because we've had quite a few guests, man. We're already, we're in this episode like 132, I believe. And again, it's a slow grind, but it's a grind. And I do it because I love it. First and foremost, I love sharing my voice and sharing my opinions with y'all. And I think for the most part it's pretty favorable, you know what I mean? When I think about, like, if I'm comparing myself to like somebody like Jeannie, yeah, I mean, she digs into a very specific, opinion about things. I'm more of a big picture type of person, like where I take both sides and I try to find like the middle ground, because a lot of times the middle ground is the bigger picture. Like the middle ground is where we try and get to a lot of times, especially when people are disagreeing. But yeah, man, we cooking. But yeah, so this week, what we getting into? So let me just tell y'all a story. Let me start off with a little story. We got some headlines, and then yeah, we got some headlines, and just kind of talking some shit about some stuff, man. So first though, yo, shout out to my mother, right? Shout out to my mom. I don't want to put her name on there because I don't want y'all doxing her and getting her caught up or anything like that. But shout out to my mom, man. My mom has always been a great gift giver, right? So this year she just hit me up out of nowhere. She was like, hey, for your Christmas gift, she was like, would you want to go to see Dave Chappelle? And she asked me this like in October sometime, maybe even like end of September. And I was like, yeah, I don't care. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, of course I want to go. And then she sent me the tickets, whatever. And like, and then I looked at the dates and I was like, oh shit, this is like a Thursday. Like, and then so trying to figure out who I was gonna go with, right? So comedy shows are great to go with like a woman, like a date, like you know what I mean? Always been great to do that. I would say though, I'm kind of like, I don't have a serious, I'm not with anybody. You know what I mean? I'm not in a relationship with anybody. So I felt like, take one, Dave Chappelle is the GOAT. Like he's one of the GOATs. He's there. And we're gonna get into Dave and break a little bit of what he was talking about down and just his career and stuff like that. But yeah, Dave is a GOAT, right? So like taking somebody to see Dave Chappelle is already big, right? And then the fact that this was like a Christmas gift, I felt like, damn, like, what I mean, taking a woman, right? Taking a woman might, what I mean, especially if you're not in a relationship, what I mean, taking a woman, it could give the wrong impression, right? It could maybe it might steer something in a certain direction, I mean, and I don't know. I didn't want to do that, whatever. So I was thinking like, all right, my homeboys, all right, let me get at my niggas. All right. So my first boy, he's my friend, man, my best friend. He was on the podcast, my man Steve. he is somebody I go to concerts with a lot, whatever. And of course I hit him. But if y'all know Steve don't come out the house unless it's an event. He go to football games, he go to concerts, whatever. And this guy's on tour right now. Like Steve be on tour. So like this guy, he had like a Flatbush Zombies concert, whatever. And then the week before that, he went to see a Black concert. We're going to see Travis Scott this coming week. And so I'm gonna be talking about that too, probably my experience at that. And that's our second Travis Scott concert that we went to. So hit him up first. He was already booked for something. Then I hit up one of my another close homie of mine that definitely like to be outside. And then I forgot my nigga is on house arrest, whatever. And I was like, oh shit, like whatever. And then I landed. I was like, you know what? What? Yeah. Let me hit up my nigga Stu, whatever. So y'all know Stu. Stu been on the podcast a couple different times. Yo, Stu is like definitely one of my funniest friends that I got, whatever. I mean, funny because he like like the way he laugh at mad shit, like whatever. So like I like, and I think he be living kind of vicariously through me a little bit. Like I be having crazy I just be having stories for this guy, you know what I mean? And and he always give me some good level-headed perspective. But he's funny as hell too, because his perspective on shit be like having me bugging, and like he also got crazy stories and scenarios, whatever. And I was like, yo, let me hit up my man's. So I end up going with my homie, right? And it kind of worked out, right? Because for several reasons, because this trip was kind of wild. Well, it just felt wild. Like it felt like it definitely felt like two niggas was going to a show. Like it didn't feel like you go to a show with a woman, you have an event with a woman, everything got to be planned and organized, like from where you're going to eat, where you're going to park, you know what I mean, if we're getting Uber because we're going to be in a big city, this and that. With a woman, you got to worry about like going with a shorty on a date, right? You got to worry about the walk-in situation because she gonna have heels on. Her feet are gonna hurt after a while and things like that. So the way we kind of went into this, we kind of wung it a little bit, whatever. So this show started at like 7:30. And so we get to DC, it's probably not even 6:00 yet. So, and he was like, yo, you want to stop and get something to eat? And me, I was like, yeah, of course, whatever. And what we should have done is we should have just went and found our parking right away. Like that's what we should have done. Like right by Capital One Arena, because that's where it was at. Should have just went there. And then because there's mad places to eat, like over by Capital One Arena. Like it's no, you know what I mean? Like it's mad restaurants over there. But like, and I've been to Capital One. I've been to concerts there. I've been to games there, whatever. Shout out Chris Brown. I seen Chris Brown there a couple summers ago. And so I was just like going with it, whatever. And my man's like, cause he be talking shit. He be like, yeah, I got mad spots like in my phone, man, where we can eat. And I'm like, oh yeah, bet. Trust him. I trust this guy, whatever. He was driving, you know what I mean? I had the tickets, he was driving. And he, you know what I mean? He's like, oh dang, I ain't got no DC spots. So he just looked up the first thing that was right by us, whatever. And we went to this, it was what was it called? It started with an L, but it was like a little hole in the wall soul food restaurant bar, right? So we in this hole in the wall soul food bar. Food was pretty good. Food was pretty decent, whatever, you know what I mean? It was cool. We only like 15 minutes away from the venue. So like it's probably like we probably leave, it's like 6:45. So again, show starts in like 45 minutes. And so we driving, I mean, the 15 minutes, and it's crazy traffic. So here's the thing, man. Even with big cities, living in a big city, I always wanted to live in a big city when I was a young boy. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm from a small city, so like I always wanted to like I'm in PA, so and I got hella family. Like pretty much 90% of my family lives in Philly. So I was down. I was like, yeah, fuck it. I mean, I always wanted to live in a big city. Like, yeah, I want to live in Philly. I want to. As I've gotten older, you know what I mean, when you have kids and stuff like that, like the three things I don't like about big cities is traffic, parking, and just long lines in general. Like I hate those three different things because I don't got no patience and things like that. So that DC traffic, right by the show, and just the fact that this arena is downtown. Now, people in Philly, I remember they was talking about something like, oh, they're gonna move Sixers Arena to downtown. That would be the dumbest fucking thing in the world. Like, don't do that. Like, it's good that it's in South Philly, kind of separate from everything else. And it might get crazy down there, but y'all don't realize like what an arena would do to Center City. Because if y'all know anything about Center City and how long it took for Fashion District Mall to be put together, imagine if they was building a damn arena down there. Like, it would be bedlam down there. It would be crazy. So you know what I mean? So that's kind of like Capital One Arena. It's like bumper to bumper traffic. You can't even turn, you can't even go, whatever. Now, my mom told me, she said the parking is crazy. I thought she was just talking about the prices, which I'm like, okay, I got it. You know what I mean? Like, it don't matter. Yo, no, she meant like, I think she meant partly availability, right? So when I'm looking up parking, right, there was literally garages that was talking about they was gonna close soon, whatever. And like, we can't have that, you know what I mean? Because we coming back to PA, so we can't afford for a parking garage to be closed. Plus, they had certain streets blocked off of the Capital One, like right by the Capital One Arena. So like, it wasn't easy to maneuver, and it's bumper to bumper traffic. So like, we were like time is a wasting. Time is a wasting. We end up we try to find parking. He tried to find parking. He thought he found something. It wasn't what it seemed to be. We driving around, whatever. We see all these, like, we see this lot with all these spots in it. It had the most questionable like signs like listed, whatever, and they look like some official government sign. It said like SAA authorized users on, like, I mean, some shit, whatever. And it was just like, yo, bro, if we park here, the Secret Service gonna come out and take us or something like that. Yeah, I mean, like, it just didn't seem official. So wherever we end up finding parking, like regular ass parking, paid like a $5 meter or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But it was only for like 2 hours. We was like, oh, we gonna walk. Man, that shit was a mile away. We end up, somehow we parked a fucking mile and almost a mile and a half away. Called a Uber, get to the arena. The line is bananas, right? The line is bananas. And then um the line is bananas, and we thinking like, oh, maybe they delayed the start of the show, whatever, you know what I mean? No, it's crazy because of security, right? So they made us turn in our phones. Now, my mom just recently went to like a Bruno Mars concert in like the DC area. It was at a smaller venue though, and she said that there was like a bunch of people kind of coming around to you to give you these little phone lock things. Because even a musical concert like Bruno Mars, he didn't even want people recording nothing there. So Dave Chappelle, I can understand, because this is possibly going to be a Netflix special. And comedians, a lot of times they do that. Like, even in the small comedy clubs, they just tell you, don't, you can't have your phone out, whatever. They wanted you to lock these joints in. So the whole security process to get us in, to check the phones, check everything was all in the same place. So it was a lot. So it's after 8 o'clock. It might be like 8:30 by the time we get into the building. So we like, damn, like, all right, we get a drink, whatever, sit down. We sit down and Dave is coming on. Like, is we get a signal that Dave is about to come on. So we missed the opening acts. It was Donnell Rawlins and I think probably like a host person, whatever. So it don't matter. Yeah, I mean, it was an adventure. It was fun. We ended up walking back from to the car. Like, I mean, because the Uber there was $8. The Uber back to the car was like 60. We two grown ass men. We like, yo, bro, we can walk, man. It was a good walk. Neither one of us went to the gym that day. You know what I mean? Because we had to leave PA so early. So like, we was like, fuck it. We just going, you know what I mean? And now, like, again, if I would have went with a shorty, it would have been a lot more meticulous and a lot more planned out. But it was an adventure. It was fun, man. And let me tell you though, man, let me tell you about Dave Chappelle, man. So Dave Chappelle is definitely, in my opinion, the GOAT of this generation, right? And so then you wondering like, who's in his generation? Well, I would definitely put Kevin Hart in his generation. um Eddie is before Dave. I mean, Martin is before Dave. I think even guys like Bernie Mac and stuff like that, like Kings of Comedy, like those guys might be a little bit before Dave, right? You know what I mean? Like, in terms of like his big moments, and yeah, I mean, where he amassed his most popularity. So I would definitely say Kevin Hart. There's definitely some white comedians that go into that class with him as well. And you know, I definitely think I think he's in the top 5 all time, whatever, but definitely of our generation, he is the GOAT. And not to take nothing away from Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart is amazing. Like I think he's still funny, even stand up. Even though I haven't seen a stand up in a while, the thing is with Kevin, he don't take it there. Like his jokes, he don't take it there the way that Dave takes it there. So Dave is in that, like, he's in that Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy like conversation, because like, well, with Eddie Murphy, because that's the thing too. Eddie Murphy might not even stand the test of time in terms of just regular stand-up comedians, because he don't have that many stand-up specials. Like that's where he started, and then he went to movies, and then he kind of stayed there. Um, Richard Pryor, big in stand up, and then he got into movies, whatever. But like we haven't had to see Eddie Murphy kind of take it there with the jokes, like other than like his first couple specials, whatever. But Dave, he always takes it there, man, and he's so cerebral, he's so smart, um, funny as hell, funny as hell. So definitely, I think he might not be as successful as Kevin, but I think he's a better stand-up comedian. And then to be a goat of comedy, I think you do have to have stand-up skills. Like, and you had to have popularized stand-up specials. Like you got to have specials. I mean, that people love, that people, pay to see you, right? But then to be a goat, you also have to have something else in your repertoire. So Dave has never really been in movies, but he has credits. He created a sketch show that was iconic, right? Even though the Chappelle Show was only 2 seasons, maybe was there technically a third season? Either way, he had a very short-lived sketch comedy show, but it was iconic, and it's people still talk about the clips and things like that to this day, whatever. So like, you have to do something. You have to be prominent in stand-up, but then you have to like raise the bar, be iconic, do something else outside of stand-up comedy for you to be the GOAT. So for Dave, it's Dave Chappelle Show, sketch comedy, but then plus it's stand-up. For Eddie Murphy, it's stand-up plus all the movies. Prior, it's stand-up plus all the movies, right? So, man, Dave, like I said, really, really held it down that night, man. He was going in, like, so some of his more recent specials, it felt like he was a little bit more cerebral, and like it was kind of quiet, like a little bit, you know what I mean? Like some of his stuff wasn't even necessarily like straight up comedy. It was like, he had like a message. You know what I mean? You think about like when COVID was around and stuff like that, and even some of his stuff, like very controversial content, but not the funniest stuff, but like still good. And that means you're a GOAT, because he can be on stage and he can just orate. You know what I mean? He could just speak, and it's still entertaining, and people want to listen, and people want to see it. So he's had a couple specials where it was like that. This special, which it was crazy, because we in the arena, and like you could see when they put on the screen, the big screen, they put Netflix presents. Like, so this definitely could be the footage that he uses for that Netflix special. I'm hoping he does, so I can always say that, yo, I was there that night, whatever. But Dave got back into being funny. Like he's like, no, I'm gonna show y'all. I know I've been serious. I know we've been getting political. I know I've been getting some controversy, but no, I'm gonna show y'all niggas why I'm the GOAT of this generation, why I'm one of the funniest niggas out there, whatever. So he killed it, man. He killed it. He did start off with, the trans stuff, whatever, kind of talking about last year. And he was like, y'all not gonna get me this year, you know what I mean? And making jokes like that. Had a couple of political jokes early on. He talked about the Chris Rock situation with Will Smith, but from his perspective, because he's like best friends with Chris Rock, right? And it's funny because he said after Chris Rock got slapped, he said he saw it like us on TV and he thought it was fake. You know what I mean? He was like, there's no way it could be real, whatever. He said that he FaceTimed this dude, and Chris Rock answer was like, you're the only nigga I pick up for, whatever. And then he said, first thing he said was, did it hurt? And he said, yeah, motherfucker, it hurt, whatever. Like, and Chris Rock being all animated and things like that. And it was just funny, like him talking about that, because then he talked about his experience getting attacked. So I don't know if y'all remember when somebody tried to run on the stage on Dave, And but Dave kind of got out of there, you know what I mean? Like, but it was like him relating Chris's experience to him, and he's like, "Oh shit, this is how it happens. Like, this is what it's like." And it was hilarious. Jokes about what his wife, jokes about family. That it was really good. It was really well done. And even though I didn't see the opening acts, it was definitely one of the most complete comedy shows. I'll go to comedy shows. Like that's one of my favorite things to do. One of the most complete comedy sets I've ever seen. Like, I mean, in person. And then to know that, yo, this is gonna be a Netflix special, it was just crazy. It was just crazy. But yeah, Dave is up there. And yeah, man, I'm glad that's a check off the bucket. Like he's a bucket list checker, he's somebody that you got to check a bucket list for. And I'm glad that I was able to do that, man. I'm glad that, I'd say yes, you know what I'm saying? And then we made it work. And I said too about like the fact that, I went with my homeboy. Well, my mom, the way she got the tickets, it was like we was the same seat, same section, but different rows. So like I was ahead of him and he was behind me, whatever. And I could just if I went on a date of some sort, that would have been kind of weird. Like, you know what I mean? Like being separated like that. So it, like I said, it ended up working out, man. And it was fun, man. And I don't, I'm so glad that I was able to do that though. So, but let's switch it up though. Let's switch it up, man. Let's kind of move through the show a little bit. I don't know how in depth we're gonna get in with some of these topics, but some of these things we definitely got some receipts and we can get into some shit a little deeper though. But let's start with some just general headlines. General headlines. And first one I want to say is, did y'all hear about Michael B. Jordan banging out the Ferrari? Did y'all hear about that? So the other day, let me just check this out real quick. Let me just check this out. So the other day, yeah, Michael B. Jordan he crashed his Ferrari into a parked car. And they're basically saying it crashed it. So the headline is Michael B. Jordan reportedly crashed his Ferrari into a parked Kia in Hollywood Saturday night. So this was on Saturday. So just like I said, just the other night. And it says that they found no signs of the actor being impaired by drugs or alcohol. However, they did not perform a sobriety test and no injuries were reported. So what is the deal here? Was he driving the whip? Was he with a female? You know what I mean? Was he distracted? You know what I'm saying? Like I can, get a little road toppy. You know what I'm saying? A little road toppy. Yeah, I mean, a little road head. I mean, I could see how you going and you end up banging out. Is that a privilege to not have after you get into a crash like that? Is that a privilege to not have a sobriety test, or did they look at it as just a regular fender bender? Because yeah, like if you get into a regular accident with somebody, well, I mean, the insurance is called and stuff like that. Not police don't need to be called for every type of accident, but like, and they don't necessarily check if you're drunk every accident, especially if you're not visibly impaired. But yeah, is that a privilege that they did not do that? Whatever. So I don't know. The verdict is out. I wonder. I think a lot of people are wondering, like, what is the deal with that? Is there something behind that? Whatever. So who knows? Who knows? Another headline real quick is so Beyonce, man, she's on fire, man. This Renaissance tour. And it's crazy because I feel like all that has been a very niche thing, but like that Renaissance thing is like one of the biggest. That's one of the biggest tours, like definitely probably one of the biggest tours of this current decade. But one of the biggest tours of her career in terms of sales and all the popularity that she's kind of amassed since this, whatever. So, but if y'all know, Beyonce not only went on tour and things like that this past weekend, and Taylor Swift kind of did it too. She had her thing out in theaters, but Beyonce, she put her Renaissance tour. She put it like in a movie, like whatever. So there's a movie of it, and I don't know if it's like one specific performance. I don't know if there was like behind the scenes. I obviously, but it was only one weekend. So like if you didn't see it last weekend, you gonna have to wait till it hits streaming, or you know what I mean. If they do, do they still sell Blu-rays? Because I know I seen a headline that said Target's gonna stop selling DVDs in 2024, or not Target, Best Buy. Best Buy is gonna stop selling. But anyway, just wanted to congratulate Beyonce and the Beehive, and you know what I mean, all y'all, you know what I mean, honorary member of Beehive, but that she got 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, I know sometimes people don't buy into that. Like they get mad like when stuff that they like gets unfavorable reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. But I feel like Rotten Tomatoes is actually the most accurate depiction of a rating, because it's not just one person's like rating, whatever. It's an accumulation of several ratings, whatever. So like to get 100%, you would have to have like all positive reviews. And like it's kind of hard to kind of break 100, whatever. But there is a list of some. If I want to think about things that received 100% reviews in 2023, let's see, in 2023, and these things kind of could you know what I mean, they could always change, whatever. But there's something on, yeah, this I seen this one on Hulu. It's called Fry Bread Face and Me. See, Stand from the Beginning. I don't know what that is. The Crime Is Mine, Beyond Utopia, Teacher's Line. So all right, so it's not impossible. I thought it was kind of impossible to get a 100% rating, but I guess if all your reviews are positive, you can get 100%. So yeah, she got 100%. So like people love it. But yeah, this just shout out to her. But people do get mad about that, and they be like, it's just critics, whatever. I'm like, no, it ain't just one person. It's a consensus of people that really dig into these shits, whatever. And again, it's based on the percentage of those ratings, what's positive and what's not. And you know, I mean, if you got a lot of negative reviews, you're gonna have a low score, and you might be like in the 50s or the 60s, 40s, even less on Rotten Tomatoes. So I always go by Rotten Tomatoes. I think it's a really good gauge of what's happening, and has a real pulse on what people like. But yeah, so people must like the Beyonce movie. So shout out to B, and again, man, shout out to the Beehive. Shout out to all her supporters with that. Where we want to go next? All right, yeah, let's get into yeah, before we go, because we got a couple more little things we're gonna talk about, and then yeah, man, we're gonna get out of here. So let's see. Let's start there. Let's start here. So we got some relationship shit, man. And this is actually an update from yeah, we got two. We're gonna talk about two relationships, and then I'm gonna wrap it up with my unwrapped. All right, we're gonna talk about that real quick. So, all right, we got two relationship updates, and it so happens that the last time I talked about these two different couples was on the same episode as well, right? So first, we're going to talk about Iman Shumpert and Teyana Taylor. So it is official, right? They have filed for divorce, all right? And in a lot of the documents, Teyana is citing jealousy and saying that Iman Shumpert has been insecure, right? Insecure about her, I think mostly her notoriety, like in her exposure and things like that. Basically what she's trying to say is that like he tried to dim her light and things like that. And I would say this, in certain circles, in most circles, I would say, because Teyana Taylor, even though for most of the time that they were together, she was not an active artist. Like she was a signed artist, whatever, that wasn't really making music, whatever. She did have a couple albums come out in the last like 5 years or so, which is dope. You know what I mean? But I would say though, like, even though she was popular as an artist, you know what I mean, or she's had some popularity artists, athletes still make like a general athlete, a lot of times it's gonna be making more than the woman, right? So if we talk about money, it wasn't like he was some brokey, you know what I mean? Like Iman Shumpert, I mean, being playing for LeBron, playing in New York for several years, whatever, he's amassed millions and millions of tens of millions of dollars, you know what I'm saying, over the course of his career. One thing about I think it makes people sad though in general, because I think, you know, you got two successful people, a black couple, it does give people hope. They seem to be, because she's kind of weird, whatever, and like he's like kind of quiet and mysterious, so he kind of just seems weird as well, whatever. So it just seemed like they were a good fit. However, I mean, what I would say though about this is that if she's saying that, insecurity and jealousy, whatever, overall, what I would just say is, no relationship is meant to be in the spotlight that long, right? And now, for some of us, we might say, well, what about Jay-Z and Beyonce? Couple things, right? Jay-Z and Beyonce are an anomaly, right? There are exceptions to the rule, but also too, though, right? They Beyonce and Jay-Z, they are so successful that they get to kind of control the headlines about them. They get to curate what is said about them, and they get to kind of curate their experience of when they're seen together. So like they kind of pick their spots, whatever. You would see Teyana, and you would actually see probably pictures of Teyana and Iman Shumpert more than you would actually see pictures of Jay-Z and Beyonce, because they have to they're going to every little event, you know what I mean? Together, spotlight. They were saying stuff like, I guess there was times where she's saying that he would get jealous, or upset when like they would ask him to move out the picture and things like that. And I don't, you know what I mean? Like, and like I said, like, I just think that some of that might be true, you know what I mean, about him. He might be kind of insecure. He might have felt some type of way. But I'm saying though, my opinion about this is that, just like, yeah, it's hard for any relationship to be in the spotlight for too long, right? You have to kind of have a balance there. You have to have a private relationship as well as a public relationship. And I think that's the thing with even Jay-Z and Beyonce. They definitely have a public relationship, but there's a big privacy aspect to that. You know, um, if we want to compare it to Will and Jada, super public, whatever, but then also super messy, right? And maybe some of the publicity has led to some of the messiness, or it's kind of fueled the fire a little bit when it comes to that. So, man, hopefully hopefully they can come to an amicable end, because it seemed like they were cool. Like, it seemed like they were cool. Um, what I've recently read is that she's upset that like the details are out, but like she was telling us before, you know what I mean? She was telling us about all these different things about, their relationship, prior to him, like, because I think that they said that the filing was supposed to be private, but he publicized the filing. But the thing is, like, we already knew y'all was on rocky footing, and you put it out there that y'all was separated and rocky, because she was getting jealous, or she was getting upset that like people was probably associating him with other women and things like that, even though she cited that infidelity wasn't one of the causes. um I think it just kind of, it wore down on her as well. um so yeah, so hopefully, man, they're able to kind of, like I said, hopefully the kids, the most important thing is, in a relationship like that, you got kids, that the kids are good, and that, neither one, like it's not going to strain the relationship. And again, I don't know, they're not super public in terms of like telling us the ins and outs of how they do things, but like I said, hopefully the kids are kind of in a good place, and not made to feel like they're in the middle of any of that. And then another couple, and this one is heating up, man. This is heating up. So we got Jeezy and Jeannie Mai. I was calling her Jeannie Mai last time, because Ella May, the singer, it's Mai, and she calls herself Ella May, right? This is Jeannie Mai, but it's Mai, right? Yeah, Mai, right? For both. And so anyway, so a lot of things with that. So let's see. Let me get into that. So, all right. So one thing that we saw, I kind of saw at some point last week, is that Jeannie is citing, now um she's making claims of infidelity, like Jeezy was unfaithful to her, and she threatens to enact her prenup, whatever, or basically to enforce the prenup. So let me read some of that, whatever, because there's some very specific stipulations about this, and I kind of want your opinion on what y'all think about this. because this is getting very technical at this point. So Jeannie Mai fires back at Jeezy's divorce claims. He's a cheater, and prenup says it'll cost him. All right. So it says, according to legal documents obtained by TMZ, Jeannie more than insinuates her estranged husband is guilty of infidelity. All right. So listen to this, though. It says her lawyer writes, wife reserves the right to amend this counterclaim to add other grounds for divorce, but which wife does not wish to specify herein at this time, in the hope this matter can be resolved without having to disclose such conduct publicly. So basically, she's like, no, we not, whatever you said is the reason why we getting divorced. Like, we about to add some sauce to that, right? And but I'm gonna let you keep that private, right? If we can settle. And typically, if we talk about settle, we talking about assets, we talking about money, right? So it's kind of like blackmail a little bit, like this is like relationship blackmail, because it's like I'm gonna expose you as a cheater. I won't expose you as a cheater if you give me what I want. If you don't give me what I want, everything is being aired out. Now let's get technical here. It says, but it gets more pointed. Wife further shows that the court should enforce paragraph 8 of the prenuptial agreement regarding infidelity, which provides in pertinent part that in the event that either party engages in sexual relations, which obviously that's cheating, like that's definitely cheating. An emotional relationship, okay, that's cheating, right? Like one is definitely cheating, the other one, all right, that's cheating, all right. Or is emotionally or sexually suggestive in communication with a third party via all forms of electronic communications, included but not limited to texting, sexting, FaceTiming, social media, and or direct messages, shall result in a significant financial penalty upon the adulterous party. So in other words, she's accusing Jeezy of being unfaithful and saying that he got to cough up some extra bread. Now, cheating is not good. Cheating is not good. We're not here to condone cheating, right? We're not here to condone cheating, but like some of that language though feels like, all right, we're digging deep. We're digging deep a little bit, and maybe we're blurring the lines of what's considered cheating, whatever, because obviously you would think that there has to be a two-way communication there, like for it to be cheating. But then I'm wondering, like, what I mean, because it says communications, whatever. So like, I mean, what if it's some fans that's like sending him some freaky stuff, and like, maybe he likes it, whatever. Maybe he is having some, the fact that they included all these different things though, that makes me think that like maybe he does communicate with women, and that she might even know about it, but then she's like, no, now we gonna call this cheating because you had this little phone conversation with this girl. Oh, you was in the DMs of this girl. Yeah, and which is not good, but I mean, there's obviously this prenup was written in a certain way for a reason, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Maybe that was something that they kind of worried about in their relationship, whatever. But like, if there is an infidelity like agreement in the prenup, I would want to keep it like, I mean, like cheating, like yeah, you fucking, you know what I'm saying? You having an affair, like you going places with this person, you spending money on somebody, you know what I mean? You doing stuff for somebody, but like, not saying that all this kind of text communication is okay, whatever, but like, like everybody knows that, like, especially with celebrities, they probably communicate with tons of people, and there might be some things where it might not even be what it looks like. Like, it might really not be what it looks like. It might be some business associates. It might be assistants. It might be, people that kind of work with Jeezy on a regular basis that might be female. And like, she's willing, but the thing is, she's willing to, if he don't settle, and the thing is though, I don't think she's insinuating. We don't know if she has proof, but I think she's willing to get real forensic with this, you know what I'm saying? And she's willing to dig for anything. Now, I wonder if that goes both ways, because if you want to enact that on me, Well, and if you get to dig into my DMs and my phone records and things like that, well, is that reciprocal? Like, do you have to be transparent about what you were doing? Because there was rumors that she was messing with Mario Lopez, right? Even and they just downplayed it. It's, oh no, that's not true, whatever. So like she has her own infidelity. And first I was thinking like, well, how come this didn't come out before? Like, how come like because when they first was filed for divorce, was it a couple 2 months ago? We ain't hear nothing about no infidelity then, right? However, I think and then I seen this other headline, and this might explain why. Well, she went on to the Jennifer Hudson show recently, and she said that she learned that they were filing for divorce the same time we learned that they were filing for divorce. So he surprised her with the divorce, right? She didn't even know that it was going down, and like they got to that level, like at least got to the level where we're gonna actually file it. You know what I mean? Like it probably was some tension, but she's saying that we learned the same time that she learned about it. So maybe since it wasn't something that both parties were necessarily part of or whatever, maybe that's why we didn't hear the claims of infidelity. Because but in my head, I'm thinking like at first I'm thinking like, well, you ain't saying nothing about infidelity now. All right, you talking about it's gonna cost them. You want some money. Now you want some money. Maybe you need some money. You know what I mean, because I don't know, your show is not on TV anymore. Um, so now it's about infidelity. You know what I mean? So it does seem kind of fishy. Um, I don't know. I would think Jeezy probably gonna settle though. You know what I mean? I think, and I know again that's like an admission of guilt, whatever. But like it might be just like, yo, I don't want you. I don't want the whole world. I mean, or you even. I don't need you to be digging in through everything. You know what I mean? And because it could be when it gets like that, whatever, I would think that like they're looking for anything to say, oh yeah, this is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about. And who knows? Maybe he gets the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he should get the benefit of the doubt. I don't know, man. But that's crazy. So yeah, that's heating up. So yeah, couples breaking up. I think I just seen Deion Sanders broke up with his fiance of the last 4 years. He was with this woman for 10 years, engaged for 4. So like I think that's confusing a lot of people because they're like, did he even want to get married to her? I don't know, man. In the last 4 years, his career with his football coaching career has been ascending. So it probably has been tough to even kind of get around to that though. So all right, last thing before we go, man, before we wrap this up. Huh, pun intended. All right, every year at the end of the year they do the Spotify, they do the Wrapped, right? They do your little playlist to see like what you was really listening to the whole year and stuff like that. So, do I have can I get mine? I know they pulled mine up. Mine got pulled up whatever. And I don't know if I can find it still. Can I still find it? I don't know. It's not letting me like just see it real quick. I just want to see it real quick. But if I'm gonna talk about it though, yo, my rap this year was fucking poop, yo. Like it was so trash. It was so trash. And it's not even because, I think I listen to good music. Like I think I listen to good stuff, whatever. However, um this year in music, there wasn't. It started to cook up in the fourth quarter. You know, what I mean, you had a Chris Brown album, we got a Drake album, right? But I feel like this year, because what I do is I make my own playlist for the whatever year it is. So I have a 2023 playlist. So whatever I'm listening to and I discover and things like that, I just add it to that playlist. And what I found that it was like I was listening to a lot of the same artists because there wasn't a lot of new stuff that came out that made me like stop and say, no, I don't want to listen to everything else. I just want to listen to this, whatever. And like really like expand my music catalog and things like that. Like I didn't feel like there was a lot of music that motivated me to listen to more music, if that makes any sense, right? Like there's no like there I might hear a bop here and there, but there wasn't enough to make me be like, oh my God, yo, I gotta hear that full album. Oh, yo, oh, this guy's featured on this song. Oh, I gotta hear what he got. Like there wasn't a lot of that this year. And hopefully, man, um 2024 is strong. J. Cole got an album that's gonna be coming out. Um, and I think that's what it is. Like the big names, some of the big names just didn't drop. And I think we're still trying to figure out like how people can make the most money they can making music, because it just don't seem like it's money in music, man. Like there's money in touring, but like these guys are not getting paid. They're basically giving us free promotional music. And I think a lot of artists are suffering. That's why we're not getting we're not even getting long tracks, man. Brent Faiyaz dropped the album right in October, and one of his best songs, Best Time, like it's a bop, man. It feel good, you know what I mean? And then it's a minute and 22 seconds, and it's like, bro, and it feels like it's cut off, like it just. And I was like, because I listened to that song, and I'm like, damn, that song. Did I skip it? Like, did I skip the end of it? Whatever. Then I rewind it. I'm like, then you look at the time, you're like, damn, a minute 22 seconds. Like, people not even making full songs no more. You know what I'm saying? And all that is like tricks so they can kind of come up for themselves. But who knows? But yeah, my Unwrapped. Damn, I don't know why it's not like on here, like just ready to go. Let's see. Can I like, if I close out the Spotify app, will it pull it back up? Um, unwrap. Let me see. Can I go wrapped? Wrapped. Let me just see. Oh, okay. Oh, I want to see the whole thing. Okay. All right, but yeah, my top artists were people like, it was Drake, it was Travis Scott, it was Drake, it was Don Toliver, it was Metro Boomin, because I was playing a lot of Travis Scott songs off of there. And who else? Yeah, Don Toliver, Travis Scott, maybe Young Thug, Drake. Yeah, Drake. I don't even know Blast was on there this year, but Metro Boom, yeah, it was predictable. It was very predictable, and I was like kind of disappointed. So I was like, it is what it is. But yeah, man. So what y'all think, man? We're gonna come back, man. We got some, I reserved some things. I definitely love telling you about my experience seeing Dave Chappelle. I want to tell you about my experience seeing Travis Scott. We already talked about Diddy and all that type of stuff. It's nasty out there. If you're still watching, I need y'all to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. You know what I mean? Follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on X as well, or Twitter, and also on Facebook. We're not on TikTok. We don't fuck with TikTok. But yeah, man, we cooking, we rocking, really gearing up for this new year and what it kind of is gonna look like. And again, man, hopefully we still on the rise, and y'all here, and y'all come back every week to check me out though. But this is another episode of 20 Plus Podcast, y'all. I'm out. Peace.